Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? It's nice out, so I thought I'd be outside doing a couple videos. Uh, I said like it feels like summertime. I have my Halloween shirt on. I had it off, but that's all right. I want to do a review of season one of She-Hulk: Attorney at Law. Now, when I first saw the first episode, it's like I don't know about the show. It looked like fun. And I didn't know what direction it was, and then she became like she got hired by this firm. I mean, whenever she got established as She-Hulk, she got hired by this firm. But she was a lawyer, right? And she became She-Hulk, and then like all hell broke loose, right? And she got hired by this thing to represent superheroes, that was like She-Hulk Attorney at Law. And then John made a good thing about Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law, kind of like something like that, like she's like representing like superhero type clients or clients with superpowers and stuff. And the show was fun. I know a lot of people crapped on it, saying like this new like Phase 4 of the I don't keep track of Phase 4, Phase 3, or something like that. He says like the worst Marvel phase of superheroes ever. Or something, I don't know. But people are like the Thor: Love and Thunder one. I thought that was funny. I enjoyed it. Um, I'll be honest. After episode 3, I kind of like there's just so much streaming stuff and stuff like that. And then there was like Andor on Disney. And, I wasn't too jazzed about that. And I saw the first 2 episodes, like, it's okay. So there's so much stuff on there. But I wanted to finish She-Hulk because it was a fun show, but I just kind of lost interest. And I went back to it, I watched it, I liked episode 4, and it was fun. And then 5 and 6, and then I think there's one involving a wedding. Now, a wedding is one of the most, I think weddings are boring. I know my grandmother used to take my sister and I to a bunch of weddings they were invited to because she didn't have to feed us. She just got a bunch of free food and stuff like that. But if we started dancing, we had fun, she'd pull us off the dance floor. No, I'd have fun. We're just there to eat and drink, and that's it. We were invited to a wedding. We didn't have to, it was cheap. We didn't have to pay for nothing. Or she yelled, say, go to church, go to church, go to church, go to church. We weren't allowed to have fun. We weren't allowed to be kids. Anyways, I digress on that. But weddings are just boring, because I remember I was really psyched. I was a big fan of The Odd Couple, the one with Jack Klugman and Tony Randall. I never saw the original with Walter Matthau and Jack Klugman. I should really see that. I'd never seen that one. Yeah, I remember whenever The Odd Couple started out, it was like filmed like a movie type thing without a soundtrack. And I remember he was on Johnny Carson trying to say for the first 2 seasons, it looked different. I don't remember watching those ones. Because they used to show like Odd Couple on syndication on the NBC Channel 12 channel for a long time. I don't remember seeing those ones. Or maybe I did, I just don't remember it. And then Tony Randall like one on Tonight Show says, hey, could you guys get behind us and try to call for a laugh track, try to make it more legit comedy instead of like a movie type thing. And then it really took off after that. That's my favorite of the Gary Marshall things. Now, I know Gary Marshall did like an Odd Couple in the 80s. I know I'm getting sidetracked, but I might as well talk about it. In the 80s with like the new Odd Couple when they were black, African American. And it was like Ron Glass as Felix Unger, and then the guy who played Lamont on Sanford and Son is Oscar Madison. And that was a great show. And then the guy who played Lamont went on to become like real religions and stuff like that. I think he was an Erie preacher or something like that. But I mean, he was Oscar Madison. That was a great show. I liked that. People slammed it. Only for one season, but I enjoyed the show. And then CBS brought it back whenever my dad was still around, and it was all with Matthew Perry and the guy from playing Oscar Madison and the guy from playing Officer Dan Reno 911, and it was like it sucked. The show sucked. I liked the opening theme song and how they did that with the show. I liked that. That was cool. I liked what they did with that. And there was a part where Officer Dangle, the Felix Unger character, did like some handstand, and then the Oscar Madison, he was nothing like Oscar Madison. He was nothing like it. It was like 2 Felix Ungers, you know what I mean? And then he put like his coffee cup on his credit, but that lasted for a few, and that show sucked. I hated it. I remember reviewing it. I think. Well, anyways, back to She-Hulk. Is this still recording? Okay, still recording. Yeah, back to She-Hulk. I mean, I was jazzed when they had like a TV movie with um, Tony Randall and Oscar Madison back in like the early 2000s. But basically, I watched like half of it. I felt bad. Jack Klugman had like throat cancer. He had surgery on it, and then he talked in a real gruff voice like this. I felt bad for him. I just felt bad for him. And then Tony Randall said his daughter's getting married, and it was like them setting up for the wedding. And I just like after about an hour, I gave up. I don't want to see a dumb wedding and stuff. It always, or when there's a comedy involves around a wedding like Skin Deep with John Ritter, the Blake Edwards movie. I didn't see it in the theater. I had a chance to see it in the theater when I was in Germany, but I didn't see it because I had to work. But I thought it was okay. But it just revolved around a wedding. Just revolving around a wedding is the main thing. It's just boring to me. Well, anyways, there's a episode involving a wedding. I know it's like more for. I don't want to categorize She-Hulk being more for girls, but maybe it is in a way. But just the wedding stuff is just boring to me. Even Wedding Crashers, I mean, that's more of a guy type wedding movie. I don't care. I was told to see Bridesmaids. That's supposed to be really good, but I haven't seen it yet. Anyways, getting back to She-Hulk, that episode with the wedding was kind of boring. I just lost interest in watching it again. And then, like, episode 7 came. I watched, like, half of it for a while. And then finally decided to watch all of it. I mean, I did enjoy the She-Hulk shows. But, I mean, the wedding one was boring. And then I was told to get some really good, cool stuff happens. And then the final episode, because the show breaks the fourth wall. Like, she talks to the audience. I finally watched all this stuff, and the show was still funny and entertaining. It's just I just got all like marveled out. Cause I didn't bother watching. The Miss Marvel was on there, and people were slamming it because it was a Muslim family. I watched like half of the first episode. I didn't. Maybe eventually I'll go back to it. I mean, it's a clever show, but I don't know if I'm really interested in watching the whole thing. I never bothered to watch all Hawkeye. But I mean, I was interested in She-Hulk because I mean it was an interesting premise, and then like when it ended, I don't even know where the camera's at. Episode 8 introduced the No Marvel, which was really cool. I like that. I always liked She-Hulk though. I mean, it's just like I was just losing interest and stuff like that. And I finally got back to watching it. I got to write a schedule down because I'm getting too distracted. I want to watch New Mutants now and then do a review of that. And I was interested in watching that. And then I got to write down a schedule because I want to do a whole bunch of things. Because I get sidetracked and then I watch something and then the other stuff I wanted to watch didn't get watched. And, I want to watch Dahmer on Netflix. That hasn't been, I watched like 2 episodes so far, Well, anyways, episode 8 was, I mean, I liked every episode. I just thought the wedding stuff was boring. And then episode 9, the very last episode, he said broke all fourth walls, was absolutely brilliant. It was brilliant. I loved what they did with the show. I mean, some people might get mad. And then the whole thing with the guys, it was like a F you to hardcore Marvel fans. That I guess that's what they were kind of saying. That's what they said. I mean, a lot of people were pissed off at the show. I think She-Hulk is brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. And it was like, I mean, John said look at it as a comedy. Well, I just look at it as a regular show, but there's lots of laughs in it. And I loved what they did with the last episode. I mean, there's lots of Marvel fans that are pissed off. And then people are just pissed off in general. You know what I mean? But I like the show. I mean, the only thing I give thumbs down to is maybe just the wedding thing involved. I mean, just the wedding stuff was boring. But aside from that, there was so much good in She-Hulk. I really enjoyed it for the most part. I mean, they were saying like the CGI looked cheesy, but I mean, they even did like a thing about it, addressing that in the last. And it was just brilliant how they did everything. Broke all the fourth walls. I really appreciate the show because they had a wedding in it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. But I really enjoyed everything else in the She-Hulk. I mean, it was a fun show. I really did like She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I went on talking about The Odd Couple, so it'll be like me reviewing She-Hulk season 1 and talking about The Odd Couple. Why? I mean, because I get distracted. And I wanted to finish The Odd Couple stuff, so I'm out here. Really nice out. Make sure I don't have... Still recording. It's still recording okay. So, that's my review of She-Hulk. It's a rambling review. Because John even did a meme about that. I was talking about stuff and then rambling on about other stuff. Ramble on, sing this song. See, Ramble On, I think of Led Zeppelin. So that's another detour. Because there's just so much going on inside my head, you know what I mean? It's not just one thing, it's a ton of things. So, I mean, I really did enjoy She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I give it a 9 out of 10, just because I think weddings are boring. You know, that episode wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I just hate, if it would have ended with a wedding and stuff, I was like, oh God, no. But that's why I just lost interest in that Odd Couple reunion. That's probably on YouTube, maybe. I'd probably watch it sometime and review it. I just don't like everything resolving around a wedding and his daughter and stuff like that. I want Tony Randall and Jack Klugman. That's what I wanted. I don't want no some dumbass wedding. But anyways, I hope you liked the video, everybody. Till next time, please take care, my legion. That's my review of She-Hulk. Training Law. I really enjoyed it. I didn't know how I was going to do this one, but it's so nice out. They got the lighting. I'm on my porch on vacation, so I might as well do it to now. So I hope you like the video, everybody. Till next time, please take care, my legion. Okay. Still recording long video. That's okay.